And we're on the way. Welcome, Pathfinder. Boy, is it good to have you. Chapter 9 is upon us. The fact that you're here, the fact that you're learning this lesson, you're watching this right now, tells me one thing about you. You are committed. You're taking your business, your success, and your future seriously. You're taking yourself in this business as the pro that you want to be, the high status agent you want to be, very seriously. And I very much appreciate and respect that. So, good to have you here. Today we're going to talk about these, how to get a lot of these, how to make follow-up work, because as you'll see, lead generation is important, but it's not worth squat if you don't know how to follow up with your leads and convert them into appointments and listings, which is what today's chapter will be all about. So with that, let's get cranking. Are you ready? Let's rock and roll. So here we go. Today's lesson is all about follow-up, how to get more appointments, get more business. Now remember, this is active learning. Active process of absorbing, processing information, and figuring out how you can implement it. That's only possible if you remove all the distractions. So please do yourself a favor. Remove any possible Facebook and Instagram and emails and texts and all that stuff. Give yourself the opportunity to learn something in the next, I don't know, we're going to spend probably 40, 50 minutes together, something like that. And you will be rewarded with new ideas, new ways of implementing and generating business. Now, I presume you've done your homework, right? Yes? You did the path, you did the time management, core influence, Borino, all the previous chapters you went through, and you implemented the funnels. Follow-up is not important. It doesn't matter if you don't have good funnels that generate leads for you. So if you haven't done it yet, implement these first. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be operational. So don't continue, go back, finish that. First, you need a steady stream of good leads in order for you to have somebody to follow up with. So with that, we're going to talk about follow-up strategies today. Doing the cool stuff, spreading goodwill in your marketplace without being a douche, making a bunch of money, helping a bunch of people, and feeling good in the process. So please download the workbook, take some notes. The more notes you take, the better. Put them in your binder, keep it in one organized place, and let's get going. The process you're learning from the lead generation to follow-up to getting listings is the process of baby steps. This is the easiest way to do that. It's easier on you, it's easier to learn, easier to deploy, easier to implement and master. But it's also easier on your clients because there's very little resistance. It works like this. You start with initial contact. This is active marketing, prospecting. Let's say it's an open house lead or it's an expired FISBO, it doesn't matter. And then you walk the prospect through small compliance steps from the initial contact to visit, to nurturing connection, getting these little yeses along the way, building relationship, all the way to a signed contract. Now I'm going to give you the 80% secret. Here it is. Your numbers will vary slightly, but not a whole lot. It's not going to be very different. Out of 10 listings, you will get 2 because of your initial contact on the phone, in person, mail, whatever. The other 8 will be a result of your follow-up. That means the money and majority, the bulk of your business is in a follow-up. And this is also the reason why most agents fail. They don't have a system, they don't have materials, they don't have the balls, and they don't have no plan to follow up. The reason it's important is because it's a crowded marketplace. There are a lot of agents. What we have right now, like 1.2 million or something like that, real estate agents here in the US. So it's a challenge just to stand out and get noticed, let alone get good listings. Follow-up will help you stand out in this competitive market, but you do need a strong follow-up. Let me show you one important statistic. This is from the National Association of Realtors. Sellers contact one agent before selecting one to assist with the sale of the home. According to the study of NAR, 74% of the sellers talk to one agent. That's it. 89% of the sellers contact 2 agents max. So that's both good news and bad news. The bad news is you really need to have your game in order. You really need to have all your ducks in a row and have a good, strong follow-up. And I'll give you a formula how to get there. You're going to learn it today. The good news is, once you master all this, you ain't going to have much competition, my friend. It's going to be pretty easy once you get the hang of it. So that's what we're going to learn. Because ask yourself this, who gets the listing at the end? Best agent? I don't know. Most people, I don't know. They don't even know what best agent really means. Do you? Everyone has different criteria. How about most experienced agent? Well, not really. There are plenty of real estate veterans who've been at it for many years and they still struggle because they can't get listings. The agent with the lowest commission? Nope. If the commission was the determining factor, then our industry would be dominated by all those discount outfits. But that's not the case. So who really gets the listing? What is the answer? It's in this formula. This is the secret. So write this down, implement it, go. No, I'm just kidding. Let me decipher it for you. Here's what it means. The first most important element of the success formula is SFI. That stands for strong first impression. You click with the client. It can be on the phone, it can be text, in person, any way you communicate. But that first impression establishes how you're perceived. This is why we spend so much time on core influence, on your mindset, and all those other elements that create that strong first impression, the first interaction you have. The C is a confidence. Stands for confidence. You deliver the information with confidence. You trust yourself. You can be trusted. The second C is competence. That means you know what you're doing. You understand real estate. They're in good hands with you. Then the final piece, the PFU, stands for persistent follow-up. That, my friend, is a secret to lots of listings, lots of success. Strong first impression, confidence, competence, and a persistent follow-up. If you look around, all the big companies, small companies, big business, small business, local, online, offline, doesn't matter. Whether it's services or goods, all they want is your contact information. You notice that? Like you go to Amazon, first thing they ask you is, who are you? Why is that? So they can keep in touch with you. Follow up, right? Now, why does that matter? So they can establish trust, rapport, build relationship with you, so you feel good about them. You feel comfortable doing business with them. It's the same thing with your clients. Now, here's another fact. Your prospect wants you to have an effective follow-up system in place. They want to have an opportunity to build rapport and trust with you so they can do business with you. They want to move, so they need you. They want a good agent on their side, someone they can trust, someone they can depend on, somebody who can help them, someone like you. That means you need to have a good follow-up system in place so you can build a relationship with them quickly. Doesn't need to be perfect, just good enough. And needs to be based on consistency. That's the most important part, is to stay in touch, because the consistency and repetition creates familiarity. That's essential. They need to be first familiar with you, with your name, your face. That will create comfort. They feel comfortable asking you questions, talking to you. And that you're just a step away from trust, which is essential. If you want to do business with them, they need to trust you, right? Here's what they need to know: who you are, what you do, how they can get in touch with you, and why they can trust you. Now, you will master all four parts. That's what today's lesson is all about. We're going to divide the leads that will ultimately become clients into potential leads and actual leads, two groups. They're similar, but there is one important difference. Let me show you what it is. With the potential lead, there was no communication. There hasn't been a communication. There has been no conversation, no text, nothing. So your objective with potential leads is to have a conversation. So that means your call to action there is let's talk. So let's say you have an expired listing. It expired today, you reach out to them, you call them, you text them, no answer. That now has become a potential lead. Your objective with them is to talk. Ask them a few questions, get to know them a little bit, understand their motivation, their desire, their problem. What is it they're trying to do? Can you help them? Ideally, potential leads will turn into actual leads. Same expired listing, you had a little conversation, you visited them for 10 minutes, gave them the expired package. So there the communication has been established. With them, your objective becomes to get an appointment, to set up a listing appointment. So there your call to action is let's meet, let's get together. So I'll show you an example. This is the letter from the Expired Plus. You have it, it's in the library. This comes with the package, it's the first letter. So watch here, this is the call to action. You can reach me at 800-573-8492 or Borino at expiredplus.com. No pressure, no hassles, no obligation, just a friendly conversation about your plans. I'm looking forward to chatting with you. See, that's the call to action, let's talk. Now, in order for all of this to work, because we're going to be working on all these communication channels and marketing channels, one tool that is essential, you must have, is a good CRM, good contact management system, or customer relationship management, same thing. There are many of them out there, right? There are 7 million of them out there. The one I recommend, now, disclaimer, we're not getting paid by them, but I think for your money, you get the best system out there is LionDesk, because you can do the basic stuff and you can do the fancy stuff. It works really, really well, only for a few bucks a month. Totally worth it. Do check them out, liondesk.com. Tell them Borino send you, and you're going to even get a discount. Or you know what? We can post it here on the page as well. So do check out LionDesk. It's a good CRM. But whichever CRM you use is a good one, as long as you're using it. Word of caution, I am not a big fan of CRMs owned by your company. If a broker and a company owns the CRM, I've heard too many horror stories, too many scary stories where the IT personnel screwed up the leads, or somebody chooses to change the company and the leads get locked in and they can't retrieve them, all kinds of issues. So you're best served if you have your own CRM where you're in control. It's your business, it's your leads, they should be yours. Whichever way you're going to go, remember this, your commissions are in a follow-up, so you must keep in touch. Now, there'll be several tools we're going to talk about. Some people you'll connect with on the phone. Some will get a direct mail as part of the follow-up. Some you will connect because of the face-to-face meeting, personal meeting. Some will become clients over email. Now, majority will be a combination of some or all of these tools. And during this follow-up process, as they go through the process with you, your prospects start building a relationship with you. And the cool thing is, they're not even actively thinking about it. It often happens organically. And the good news, even better news, it can happen quickly. Now, speaking of channels, let me show you a study. This was done by Frost and Sullivan recently. These things change, so take it with a grain of salt. But as of right now, 20% of your emails are open, 90% of your text messages are open, 29% of your tweets are read, and 12% of your Facebook posts are read. So yes, text right now is hot. Facebook Messenger, great tool to communicate, but you need to communicate all of these channels because you really don't know which one will resonate with that specific prospect and which one they're going to respond to. Here is how your communication impacts. Now, of course, cost, time, feasibility is a factor, but remember this, personal conversation trumps all. It is by far the most effective, most impactful, easiest, and fastest way to develop a relationship with someone and to convert them into a client. Nothing beats a personal conversation. Right below that is a phone conversation. Next to it is personal video, text, and instant message. Now we're talking about personal video to that particular lead, not a mass broadcast. Below that, letter, personal note, and card, again, targeted to that specific person, and you will see plenty of examples a little later. Below that on the impact scale is mass mailing, and the last one is email. Email is important. Yes, it's part of the arsenal. Just remember, what do you do first thing in the morning when you get a cup of coffee, get to the office and fire up your computer or your tablet? You clean up your inbox, right? We all do that. There are just too many emails out there. It's a noisy, crowded world. So if you rely on email alone, you're in trouble. Now, I'll give you another secret. And we're going to go to the whiteboard for this one. This is important to understand how much of a follow-up you need. So let's say you're here. This is the initial first contact. Okay, this is first step. This is where you make the initial contact. They, let's say, respond to an ad on a Facebook, or it's an expired listing. You drop off the package, you have a little conversation. Then the follow-up process starts. Follow-up number one, follow-up number two, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it continues. Here's what I can tell you from years of experience, not just mine, but many of you guys report very similar numbers. Yours will be different again, but I don't think it's going to be a whole lot different. As you follow up, the majority of your conversation, and this continues, happen right here. This is where majority of the dollars are. This is also about here where most agents quit. You continue going. So you go through the follow-up, and as you follow up, touch number 5 through touch number 15 is where majority, most of your conversations happen in that window. Do you give up after 15? It depends. You're not in a lead collection business, obviously. Leads alone will not pay your bills. But I can tell you again from personal experience, I'd rather follow up a little longer and keep in touch than lose a listing, lose a chance to help a client, and lose an opportunity to make some money. So keep that in mind. Okay? Let's continue. It will require 15 contacts on the phone, visit, email, text, direct mail. You're going to mix it all up. Sometimes even revisiting them, like with the needle of the haystack, that's part of the Expired Plus. That's what it takes. So with that, let's talk about the phone follow-up first. How to keep in touch without annoying your prospects, alienating them, or coming across as pushy or needy. Here's the reality. Not everybody wants to talk to you. Not everybody likes you. Hey, not everybody likes me. I know it's surprising, But that's the reality. I am popular, but there are people who don't like me. There are people who may not like you. It's okay. Not everybody trusts you, at least not right away. Not everybody wants to move, at least not right now. And not everybody is nice. Maybe they had a bad day or they're just an asshole. Either way. Some people, they will just hang up. Some people will be rude and aloof. Maybe it's just because they got a flat tire, or their boss chewed their ass off at work, or their kid screwed up at school. There can be all kinds of reasons why it triggers those kind of emotions. Some people will lie. They give you the wrong information, like they fill out the guest register for an open house and they give you shitty information. Some people you will never reach. You're going to keep trying and trying and trying, nothing. And some people will listen with somebody else. That's the reality. Even the biggest rock stars will not get them all. Sometimes these things happen, you got to get over it. You simply say, so what? Thank you for the lesson. Next. Can I do something better next time? Maybe yes, maybe no. But here's the beauty of this business. There's always more. There's always another opportunity tomorrow. Your mental state, your ability to bounce back will to a great degree determine how successful and how wealthy you're going to become. Because here's another part of that reality. There is more business that out there you can possibly handle. Way more than you can handle. 12% of us, 12% of American population of the US will move in the next 12 months. Think about that. Over 4 million, 4.2 or 4.3 million transactions closed this year, something like that, NRI projects. Huge amount of business. That also means there are plenty of nice, friendly, motivated, and realistic buyers and sellers out there. And they are looking for a nice, friendly, professional, confident agent right now. They need your help. They're looking for you. But the question you need to ask yourself and be honest is, do you believe it? Do you really believe it? Because if you don't, you're screwed, right? Going back to chapter 1 of The Path. Time to rethink and redo your mindset. But that's the fact. Plenty of business, plenty of people. Just look around you. So let's dive into the phone follow-up. Rule number 1, phone is your friend. Follow up if you can. Don't just passively wait for people to respond because it's safe, because it's simple and short. No. Call. Rule number 1, always have a reason for the call. Never call just to see if you're ready. Wanted to see if you wanted to list. Don't do that. Always have a reason. I'll give you some examples in just a second. Include the magic word because. Here's the reason I'm calling. I'm calling because. And again, I'll show you how to do that. Keep it simple. Doesn't need to be 20, 30-minute dialogue. Sometimes it can be, and that's cool. If you click on the phone, they have questions, and you really get into this deep conversation. Nothing wrong with it. But even if it takes 60 seconds, 2 minutes, it's fine. The idea is that the call must be helpful and interesting to them. It's about them. That is important. And remember this, how you feel is how they feel. If you feel comfortable, if you feel confident, if you enjoy what you do, it comes across. In Core Influence, we talk about success physiology and psychology. Because this is a lot more about how you feel than what you say. Think about it. You call somebody. If I talk to that person 10, 15 minutes later and ask, hey, you just had a conversation, what did you guys talk about? I would get very little details. I wouldn't get like play-by-play details and facts of that conversation. But I'd get very clear responses. How did that person feel about you? It's the emotion that caps everything. Okay? So with that, first set an intention. Before you pick up the phone or start texting or doing any type of follow-up, what is your intention? You want to connect with somebody, you want to develop a relationship and see if you can help them. Take a nice deep breath, bring a lot of oxygen to your brain. Under stress, this is vital. Make sure your posture is the right posture. Like right now, as I'm teaching you this, can you see my posture? I'm not slouching, I'm not sitting around on my desk on a computer. I'm standing here talking to you. It feels different. And even if you don't watch me on camera, if we turn the picture off, you can still tell that I'm standing, I have a passionate delivery, I love what I do, I love teaching you this, I love connecting with you. Let's come back. Magic of video. Have the same approach when you're talking to people. Because your tone and your energy that you're communicating will either create optimistic, passionate, pleasant experience, or just another agent desperate for a listing. You with me? So change your physiology. Next one, smile. Nice big smile. It's a subconscious, instant communicator. I feel good. I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying the interaction with you. And whether it's on the phone or in person, doesn't matter. Even on the phone, people can tell whether you're smiling or not. Next one. Make your power move. Give it energy, like when Tiger Woods, when he scores a good shot, he makes this power move. So make sure you are in the top state of high energy, positive expectations, you're feeling good. You have the radiance, the strength, the balance, and the intensity that's required. And with that, let's have a simple conversation on the phone. I call my prospect. We've had some conversations in the past. So I say, hey, Carol, it's Borino with ABC Real Estate. Hey, you know that house on Maple Street around the corner? We talked about it last time I talked to you. Well, I wanted to give you a quick call because it's sold. That's a simple opener. I start with a smile. I'm looking forward to chatting with Carol. And I have a reason why I'm calling. I'm using the magic word, because. And what is one of the first questions you probably ask? About the price, about the bedrooms, baths, any of that, right? Because she's curious. It matters to Carol. How long was it on the market? All that stuff. So then I segue into, well, how about you guys? You still thinking about going to Colorado? And Carol may say yes, or she may say no. She may say, we're going to wait. So I'm going to show you the modified connector formula. You learned it in the core influence. Here it is. I always agree first. I would say, oh, sure, that makes perfect sense. Many clients feel the need, they need a short break after the home didn't sell. So you guys want to put the house back on the market in the summer or be in Colorado in the summer? What would you prefer? And then I follow up with, Carol, sometimes waiting is the right strategy, no question. But sometimes people want to wait simply because it's more comfortable to put off a big decision. And it is a big decision, no question about it. That's why we procrastinate. I'm just as guilty. Everybody does that. Look, I know, selling and moving, not easy. But I help clients just like you every single day. And the fact is, it's not going to be easier 2 weeks from now or a month from now. It is what it is. Let me ask you, wouldn't you feel better, even relieved, if all of this was behind you? House sold for a good price, you guys enjoying a nice new place in Colorado with your family, happy, bike riding, mountain biking, skiing, doing all that stuff. And Carol would say, yeah, you're right. That would be nice. I did an emotional shift, right? I future paced them into the state of being in Colorado. I know their core driving emotion, connection with the nature, space. That's what matters to them. Enjoyment with the family, living in a healthy environment. So I segue into the bridge. Why don't we do this? I'll put together all the information for you. What is the most a qualified buyer would be willing to pay you? How long would it realistically take to sell? How much cash you're going to put in your pocket after we're done? All that information. And then you guys can think about it and decide. Maybe stay here, same house, same neighborhood, same everything. Or sell for a good price and get that nice home in Colorado. I won't pressure you. This is not about pressuring you, getting you to the list or any of that. I'm just here to help. So let's meet in my office tomorrow at 4:40 p.m. for about, 20, 30 minutes. We'll go over everything. Will that work for you? And the seller will say, okay, yes, it will. Or they say, no, it's fine. But I want to give them the opportunity to consider their options. And if they're faced with a tough decision to sell or stay, if I can help them with that decision and provide enough information and support them, I win. You see, the appointment is a logical step on the way to fulfill the client's core driving emotion. That's really what they want. It is not about listing or selling or moving. What is it they want? They want to live somewhere else because it's going to feel better. Whether it's a problem it's going to solve or dream it's going to fulfill, one of the two, or a combination of two. It's about feeling better. It's always about an emotion. Logic only supports the decision, but I have to guide them through the emotional process first. So what can be a reason? Why can you call? You can come up with a million reasons. Anything that is interesting to the seller. It can be a new listing in the neighborhood, yours or somebody else's, doesn't matter. New sale, new closing, there's a new open house coming up, there's a price reduction, and a million other reasons. You can really come up with a whole bunch, right? But what if you call a lot and the seller says, hey, you call a lot, we'll call you when we're ready. Because you practice and because you know how to react, doesn't throw you off. You simply say, I appreciate that, Carol. I hear you. And I don't mean to pester you. I just want to make sure I don't drop the ball on mine. Remember how you said when you were listed with that previous agent when the listing expired? And you said one of the mistakes that the agent made is they never kept in touch. So I don't want to make the same mistake with you guys. I care too much. Nice and easy, right? A few tips to make your phone follow-up better. It will feel a little uncomfortable at first. You're talking to strangers, and especially if you haven't mastered it yet, it's going to be a little not so comfortable. It's all right. I promise you will screw it up. It's just part of the process. It's all right. Don't let that ever stop you. It's going to take some practice. That is the most important element for this to work, is for you to really master the communication, and you must, and you already know that. That's why you're here. You got to practice. Role play partner, get it going so you know how to set appointments, you know how to ask the right questions, communicate with people. In addition to the phone, which still matters, here's another study. This is done by California Association of Realtors. How do people prefer to communicate with their agent? Texting and phone is still the leader. 64% still prefer that. So that means the phone is your best friend. It's a very important tool you have to master. But there are times you can't reach them. You don't have their number. That's where the mail and email comes in. And automation and email, all that, that is great. After all, look at this. 21% of the prospects still like to get email from you. But remember, drip campaign is not a follow-up campaign. It's only part of your follow-up, part of the mix. Now, the good news is many of the messages and also the principles apply to email, so you can use them as well. Whether it's a direct mail, can be applied to email, text, and all that. You can mix it all up. So let's talk about the mail. This is especially useful if you have no direct contact with the prospect. They may be out of the area. You need to make more impact. You don't have their phone number, or you just want to keep in touch with someone like your sphere. All that is great to have good mail follow-up on the books. So remember, we talked about potential leads and actual leads. So this is the actual first part of the sequence to expireds with whom you haven't had a conversation yet. So that's the potential leads. So first they're going to get the expired package. You either drop it off or you mail it to them. It comes with a letter 1. Then you're going to follow up with the Russian Mafia, which I really like the name of that. Number 3 will be the lost postcard, which is the red one you see on the screen. Number 4 will be letter, Henry, where you talk about the experience of one of your clients. Number 5 will be a market update. Number 6, needle in a haystack, preferably delivered, so you have another chance, another possibility of interacting with them in face-to-face, in person. And then number 7 is a postcard number 2, getting it sold, which is the black one. And there is more, of course. You have the entire library. The Expired Plus comes with a whole bunch more, so you can keep in touch up to 6 months if you want to. But this is the first salvo. I would usually not give up on an expired until they at least got the first these salvos. Now, obviously, you got to intertwine it with another attempt to text, send email, if you can, visit them again, call them again. All that will be part of that as well. Now, let's compare it to the actual lead sequence. This is the same lead with whom you had a little conversation. We start with the expired package. Then they're going to get a thank you card. I'll show you one in just a second. They're going to get the first postcard, market update, needle in a haystack, postcard number 2, and a letter curb appeal. So I pulled the Russian Mafia out because that's specifically designed for potentially to initiate the conversation. So just review the library and add or pull out stuff that you feel is appropriate or necessary. Now, I can't stress this enough. Interaction, answering questions, and connection is built through conversations. That's where the magic happens. So yes, it's good to have letters and emails and all those other parts in place. But keep in mind, you need to interact with them if you want to get a bunch of business. Lead sequence for FISBOs. Every 7 days they get something from you with the interaction. Best websites, that's something you can drop off or you can email it to them. Thank you card, market update, Google Voice, you help them set up Google Voice, property flyer, then you send them the VIP directory, showcase guide, and continues. There are 18 pieces of follow-up in the Borino program. This is the first salvo. This is the most effective piece of direct mail. Thank you card. It is classy, it is personal, it's memorable, it's fun, it feels good, right? It feels good to send, to handwrite the note, and it, of course, feels good to receive it. It's nice. So here's an example of a nice thank you card you can send. Dear James and Mary, thank you for taking a few moments to chat with me today. I know that selling a house can be a little overwhelming. Take your time, sort things out, and give me a call whenever you like to talk. I'm here to help. Sincerely, Borino, your real estate agent. Now here's the trick. If I insert my business card into a nice thank you card like this, it instantly diminishes the value and the impact of the piece. It becomes just another sales marketing pitch. So here's the solution. This is Send Out Cards, and I encourage you, if you're not a member, please do join. I'll give you the URL in just a moment. We're affiliated with them. It's a great system because you personalize the card. So at the end, at the back of the card, they have the contact information. They know who this is from. Even your face is there, but it's not in their face. So they still know who you are, what you do, how to get in touch with you, but it's done in a much more elegant way. Now, if you want to step up the game, you can include some brownies. This works really well. Like you visit a FISBO, you had a good conversation. Send Out Cards will send them these they're delicious, by the way, these brownies. So here's one of my students, Lorna, followed my advice. She sent this nice thank you card to their prospects. And look at that. Lorna posted, her client actually posted this on Facebook. They took a picture of the nice package that they got, the box of brownies, and posted them. That's how much of an impact these things make. Okay? If you haven't yet, watch the 50 closed referrals with Ninja Gail Zintek, who knows exactly how to do this well. There's a training session. It is posted. We'll post it here. I'll just post it here on the page, but it's also in the Listing University. She has mastered the game of Send Out Cards. Highly recommended. What else can you send? When was the last time you got a birthday card? All you get is the little happy birthday on Facebook. That's about it, right? But what if something like this came in the mail? Happy birthday, Jim. Hope you're having a fun day. Borino, you're a real estate agent. Nice and personal. And something like LionDesk, the CRM, makes it super easy because you have a field for it. So that means you can get prompted a few days in advance, and you and your assistant can send a nice personal card to your clients. Now, you can look it up on Facebook, you can look it up on LinkedIn, or you can just ask them, hey, when is your birthday? All right, so this is one-to-one examples of your mail. Very impactful, very strong, very important, should be absolutely in your library, in your arsenal, in your toolbox when it comes to follow-up. These are examples of one-to-many. That means you take one piece and send it to either a specific group in your follow-up or the entire database. Here's an example. This is my friend Lisa, great agent, total ninja rockstar agent, making $750,000 every year, crushing it. She sends these updates out. Now, on the inside, it's super simple. Look at that. It's just a list of homes, active listings, sold. Some of them are hers. Some of them are her sales and listings. Some are not. So she's very transparent about it. But she sends these out. These work really well because people are always curious what's going on in the market. They always want to know. And especially if you include pictures, that's even better. But here's where the magic happens. You're going to attach a little note. Hey, Carol. Whoops. So here is what's going to go on the note. Here it is. Hey, Carol. Here's a quick update on our neighborhood. Hey, Carol, here's a quick update on our neighborhood. I think you'll find it interesting. Enjoy. Borino, your real estate agent. P.S. This may be a good time to sell for a great price. Drop me a note and let's talk about your house. Call to action. Nice and easy. Some more examples. Open house invitations. Just listed cards. Just sold cards. Remember, part of the follow-up is to demonstrate that you're competent. The way you do that is you show people, hey, I'm selling homes. I'm helping people. I'm doing it. I can be trusted. Here's another example. Simple market update. Now, the magic happens right here. This is the most important element. Not where the property is, not how much it's sold for. It's that they see constantly your face. They're associating success with your name. You're linking the results you're getting, or even just sales happening in the neighborhood, with you. That's what's essential. A couple of resources to check out: printplace.com, printerbees.com, vistaprint.com. All three of them. We're not affiliated with these three, by the way, but worth checking out. Do your due diligence. Check out where you can get these postcards, include them in your follow-up. Now, this is a Send Out Card URL. If you join through us, if you use the Borino code, you will have access to Gail's campaigns, her coaching, her mentoring is all available to you. We're here to help. Use them. It's a good service. They just started not long ago. $97 program if you want to send all you can eat cards, all you can send. And for $147, I think, you can mail a batch to groups. Check it out on their website. It's broken down into more detail. Now, one more important psychological principle when it comes to follow-up. Think about this. For most sellers, selling a house is not exciting. It's not. All that paperwork, dealing with salespeople, dealing with agents, cleaning the house, repairs, putting money into it, moving, packing. Who wants to do that? It's not fun. That's why when you talk to the seller about listing and selling and moving and all that, they're not like, woohoo, thanks for showing up. Can't wait. On the other hand, what's more exciting? Buying. It's on the buying side that's more exciting. Looking at pretty pictures, go previewing homes, shopping around. That's where the fun is, right? That's where the excitement is. Now, you already know that many of your clients will stay within the area. So if you can, if at all possible, and if you know, use that as part of your follow-up. Rather than talking about just selling, 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 you talk about moving and living somewhere else. So let me give you an example. Here's a simple text you can send. Carol, new listing just went up for sale. 1231 Oak Avenue, 4 bedrooms, pool. Excellent conditions. Have more details for you. Now, you can also set this up if the seller is moving completely out of the area or even out of state. Connect them with another agent and cooperate with the other agent so you can coordinate your follow-up. Here's why that's important. Remember this? Profile of home buyers and sellers in AR. Some more statistics that will help you make a better follow-up. Look at this statistic. 52% of the sellers traded up and purchased a home that was larger. That's important to know. Half of your potential leads, at least according to these stats, want a bigger house. That's why having a conversation and knowing what each prospect wants, what problem they're trying to solve, is so important. So there's a pretty good chance half of your leads want to move because the house is too small. There's one more piece of statistic. 56% of all home sellers were married couples who moved within 20 miles from their previous home. Again, so chances are, unless you're like in a secondary market, vacation market, over half of the sellers want to stay in the same general area. So here's how you can use it in your follow-up to start a conversation. Send a text. Hey, David, are you in town this weekend? I have a list of open houses in Lake Barcroft I can send you. Borino. And they respond, bloom. That was my impression of an iPhone receiving a text. Sure, that would be great. And then you continue the conversation. Awesome. Hey, want to make sure I send you the right ones, what price range and how many bedrooms. And now we have a conversation. Now you can have an intelligent chat back and forth, right? It is about something that interests them. It's something that benefits them. All the rules apply. All the principles are in play. Now, how about you have a lead that you haven't talked to in a long time? Everybody has at least one. Come on, be honest. Be honest. Let's say you have a lead you haven't touched in a long time or you haven't followed up at all. We all had a few of those, right? So we can send this text or even an email. Hey, Susan, would you still like to move? Borino. This even works like with an old expired, anyone who tried something in the past. And you may get a reply, hey, we're thinking about it. And now we can start talking. That's the whole idea. Remember, the goal is to build connection through conversation. That's the whole point of the follow-up. To start or to continue a conversation, a dialogue to nurture the relationship, to qualify the prospect while building trust. Now, one of the best, most effective tools right now in your arsenal to do that is video. Video should absolutely be part of your follow-up. Use your smartphone, record a short video, personal, different, engaging. So, I'm walking to grab my phone just to demonstrate how easy this can be. Doesn't need to be hard. You fire up your smartphone, you point and say, hey, Susan, it's Borino with ABC Real Estate. You know, I'm really sorry about your house. I'm really sorry it didn't sell. Looks like a really nice house. I would be curious to figure out why it didn't sell. If you'd like to still sell it for a good price, if you'd like to find a buyer who's willing to pay you a really good price for it and sell it quickly, please let me know. Just reply to this message. Thanks, bye. And send it as a text. Just right from your phone. Super, super easy. It's personal, it's different, and it's very engaging. As part of this month's chapter, as part of the follow-up, you will also get instant access, plus you will get this book in the mail, the Real Estate Video Plus, where I'll teach you step by step how you can quickly produce simple but effective videos just with your smartphone. Okay, let's talk about frequency. Keep in mind that people are busy. We're all busy, we're all distracted, we all have 100 things on our mind, and we go 300 miles an hour every day, right? Not to mention other agents going after the same listing. There's lots of marketing, lots of noise, lots of distractions. So your minimum frequency, even for motivated leads, should be 14 days. They should hear from you, see your face in one form or another, or talk to you every 2 weeks. Now, if you have a really hot lead, more often. The idea is to mix it up. The more channels, the better. You will eventually probably find one that works the best, whether it's the phone or text or email, it doesn't matter. But to nurture the conversation, to nurture the connection, all these channels need to be open. Now, social media right now is really good for that. What that means is you're going to friend your prospects on Facebook. The lines have blurred between the personal and the business. So make them your friends, engage them, comment, like their posts, interact with them so that you get to know them and they get to know you. Use the messenger for follow-up. A lot of these messages can be incorporated as part of the messenger communication. And the last one, use retargeting ads. We're going to post a link to a recent session I did with my man Travis. Travis Storm is a rockstar ninja Facebook expert. He will be talking about on the lesson how you can use retargeting as part of your follow-up on Facebook. Use every opportunity, every tool, every channel, every possible method to contact your leads and follow up with them. Why? Because you're never the only agent. Even if the seller is your Aunt Edna, they're still talking to somebody else. They may still be considering somebody else. So don't ever think you're the only one. You will always have competition. Not a very competent one, but there'll be a competition. The thing is, all you have to do is just to be a little bit better in this. You don't need to be 10 times better, just a little better than your competition, and you can totally dominate your market. So let's break down the sequences you need to build. You're going to get your CRM, right? Right. And you're going to build one for expired listings. So it'll be a sequence of, I'm going to send this letter on day 1, then I'm going to follow up with a phone call on day 2, then I'm going to send text on day 3, and on and on and on. The systems already have these sequences, so you can just follow it, build it. You're going to have one for FISBOs, one for online leads, one for your sphere and your past clients, one for general leads, and one for buyer leads. That's really all you need. Now, if you have another source that you're using periodically, another funnel for leads, just add it. Then you're going to put the first salvo in place. So we're going to have 3 groups of leads: hot, motivated, and maybes. Hot ones, those are the very motivated ones. They're going to do something within the next 30 days. They will hear from you at least every 4 days, at least at the beginning. Then you can, of course, ease off. But the beginning, the initial salvo you just saw, it should be every 4 days. The B leads, these are the motivated ones, most likely do something within 60 to 90 days, will be contacted every 7 days. They will hear from you weekly. And then the maybes, the C leads, every 14 days. The secret to all this comes down to just one word: repetition. It's going to come down to the most important part of every good profitable follow-up strategy is the repetition. Constantly keeping the conversation going while keeping your face and your name in front of your leads at all times. That's the secret, my friend. Now, some homework. First, get a good CRM. Learn the basics. Learn how to put a lead in, how to build a sequence, assign a sequence. In most cases, like with LionDesk, they have a great video library. You can just log in, watch them. You can literally learn the whole thing, how to operate it within a weekend. Start on Saturday morning, by Sunday night, you know how to use it. Next, you're going to load all your leads, do a simple import, pop them all in there. Everybody is a potential lead, remember that. And then program 30 days at a time. You don't need to have an entire sequence for the next 6 months, not necessary. Just the next 30 days. And then, of course, bonus, watch the Real Estate Video Plus. Go through the program. It will help you incorporate very powerful method to generate leads and follow up with them through video. All right, my friend, and that is today's lesson. Enjoyed it? Yes? Do you know what to do? Spend some time every day. Make it part of your day. Incorporate in your calendar time to follow up with your leads. Majority of this, the mechanical stuff, the marketing stuff, the technical stuff, should be delegated to your assistant. We'll talk about hiring an assistant on a future lesson. But you should have somebody who can take over some of this, because if you have 5, 10 leads, it's easy. But if you follow the funnels, if you build the systems, and if you do what I tell you to do, your leads, your database will grow. Sphere, past clients, plus leads. Once you reach 100, 150, 200, 300, it would be almost impossible, besides not much fun, to do all this by yourself. Fuck that. Who wants to do that? It's a lot of work, and it's not a fun work. So delegate it. Even a virtual assistant is better than no assistant. But no matter how you're going to get it done. Because the money, my friend, is in the follow-up. Coach Borino, finishing today's lesson. Hope you enjoyed it, my dear Pathfinder. It's great to have you in the program. I look forward to chatting with you. Come join us on our next live session. If you have any questions, if I can help you in any way, I'm here to help. I want to make sure this works for you. You have a profitable, successful, and enjoyable business. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you real soon. Coach Borino signing off. Let's go get him. Bye, everybody.